Still not sure how flat surge works? Let's talk about it.
Keith's an amazing guy.
What is up? It is Red, the Rideshare Ginger, coming right back at ya. Just sitting here at the waiting lot, waiting for a ride right now, but wanted to come in with a somewhat of an update to flat surge, sticky surge, whatever you want to call it. It's been a while since I've done a video on it. We've had it here for just over a year now, so we've learned some things with it, picked up some different stuff. I want to give a little bit of an update, but more or less just kind of a refresh for the new drivers that don't know how to use it or really what it is and don't know what life was like before it. So used to have the multiplier, now we're over on sticky surge. Basically it's just a flat dollar amount that gets tacked onto every single ride that you do from within that surge. So if it's $5, you get $5 for every ride that you do in that surge. The one thing that we liked, or at least I liked about it when it first popped up, was it tended to stay longer than the traditional multiplier. It would stick around a little bit longer, so if you're trying to chase, you had a little bit more time to get there. And it's still kind of the case right now. There's been some changes with it. Previously, there used to be a separate select surge and a separate XL/X surge. Now, within the last like 2, maybe 3 months in the Chicago market, they've now merged it all into one. So when you're on select, you see the same surge as X. And where that's kind of a benefit is it used to be if you picked up and you stole surge. So let me explain what stealing surge is first. So when you steal surge, you grab it from an area, you leave the surge area, so you grab the $5 and it's sticky, so it sticks to you, and you hold the surge and you steal it and you drive out of the area. The next ride you get that $5 or whatever it was in that surge area. So you steal the surge and take it somewhere else. So previously, if you were stealing surge and you were on X and then you switched over to select only, the surge would disappear. The stolen surge that you had, you would no longer have that surge. But now, because they've made it all one surge, the select, the X, and the XL are all on the same flat surge that you see, when you steal it and you switch over to select only, you can actually steal it and hold it, which is another technique that I'll let you know about going forward. But let's talk about, so you have the multiplier. So your rides would multiply, you get 2X, 3X, or whatever it is, and now there's flat surge. Well, you can still get a ride multiplied or adjusted. And the way that kind of works is when you get like a 45 plus or a longer ride, sometimes it happens on 15 to 20 minute rides, it's all about how much the rider paid. So you're going to get a significant, is what the way they phrase it, a significant portion of the surge amount of what the rider paid. So even though it might be a 5-minute trip and you only had $5 surge, if the rider paid $30, you're probably going to get about 20 of that instead of what would be like the 10 if you're doing your mile rates plus the 5 or whatever it happens to be. But the way I like to look at those adjustments, and the way I keep track of things, is I will look at the passenger app. The passenger app is key. You take a look. So if you're going to go to an event, let's say here at Soldier Field, and you got the Bears game, before the surge starts, I will see what a price costs from Soldier Field to O'Hare, and that'll be my baseline. And then using the passenger app, because the passenger app will lead the driver app, as that surge goes up on the passenger app and it starts to cost more, it will go up on the driver app, so you'll know the flat surge, whether it's going up or down, and kind of know when to take a ride type of thing. But then additionally, you'll have an idea of how much you're going to get off that ride. So if you get a 45 plus and you know O'Hare's 45 minutes out, you know what the passengers pay. So if they're paying $80, you might get 60 of that, at least that far. Or if it's 120, maybe you're going to get 90 of that to at least that far. If it's a 45 plus and it's going further, then you might get more than that. It might adjust even more. So passenger app is key to knowing where surge is going in the flat surge, and roughly what it's going to multiply to then at that point. So if you steal surge, however, there will be no adjustment. So you steal the $10, you get out of the area, you get a 45 plus, you will not see an adjustment on that ride. Another situation where flat surge works out kind of nice is on a pool. So you grab a pool ride and you're going to get an additional amount of flat surge on top. So it might be $8 plus 5 for every additional rider you pick up. So that's where pools kind of become a little bit nice in high surge times. But one way to take advantage, another way to take advantage of these flat surges, I'm just sorry, I'm all over the place right now. I don't really script this shit out, so just kind of throwing shit out there all over the place. But another way to take advantage of the flat surge is with a destination filter. And the way you take advantage of it is you're in a surge area and you know it's going to last for maybe 30 to 40 minutes or an hour if it's an event or something like that. You want to set a short destination filter so you can keep circling back to that area. So maybe you set something 20 minutes away and then you can drop that passenger off and circle back, hopefully get 2 to 3 trips back in that area rather than getting taken maybe 40 minutes out and it doesn't really adjust and now you're way outside of the surge area, you're never going to make it back into it. So you want to take advantage of that surge being there. So you either want to A, go for a long trip, or B, go for some really, really short trips over and over and over again so you can just kind of take advantage of that surge. So this is where short trips can be key with the flat surge. Sorry, I just almost saw an accident right there. Holy shit. So that's where flat surge can be key, is on those short trips. You take a bunch out of the area, use that destination filter to your advantage. And then another way, so you steal the surge. So you go in, you grab the $5 and you steal it. And you're not getting any trip request, but you got Lyft on too, so you grab one with Lyft. So if you are a premium driver, there's a great way to steal and hold this surge. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna switch over to select only or XL only, depending what your premium is, and set a destination filter towards an area about 15 to 20 minutes away. But here's where you got to keep an eye on it, because with the destination filter, eventually your app's going to turn off or try to close out the destination filter or turn you offline. So you got to keep an eye on it and reset the destination filter every so often, depending on how long that Lyft trip is. And you kind of balance these things out. If you have both the PZ, the power zones for Lyft, and surge, so you go in, you set up, if you're premium, you go take the PZ, you go take the surge, and you take whatever ride comes first, and then you will try to steal it. So let's say a Lyft ride comes first, you do exactly what I said on Uber, you steal the ride. If the ride comes first on Uber, then you hold the Lyft PZ, but you gotta be even more careful with Lyft PZs because those destination filters run out quicker and you're using that destination filter if you turn it on, even if you don't get a ride. So what I like to do, because I have Lux Black, is switch over to Lux Black only, and I'm very likely to not get a ride at that point. I don't have to waste a destination filter either. That's the way to kind of, balance the two and kind of steal things back and forth. But overall, I personally am a fan of flat surge. You just have to know how to use it and work it properly. I prefer it over a multiplier. I just think to me, it's a little more predictable almost. Like, it's hard to say that because the multiplier, you know exactly what it's going to multiply to. But if you're using the passenger app, you have a very good idea what your trips are going to adjust to if you have a rough idea of where you're going. So it's all about knowing your area and knowing what you're doing. But overall, just kind of, one second, we'll flip out here real quick. All right, sorry, I got a ping right there. I had to cut out for a second and take a look at that. But like I was saying, it's all about knowing your area and knowing your market. If you hear honking, it's Rick. He's an asshole. He's sitting next to me honking right now because I'm in the waiting lot. But if you know your area, you're going to be much better with the flat surge and knowing where you're going. But overall, I think flat surge is a good update to the system, and he's fucking still honking at me. What an asshole. But overall, flat surge is a good update to the system, and I think it's a good way to go. And a year into it, I like it so far. But as always, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate the views.